We continue now at the top of Daf Nun Ches Amud Beis Meseches Avodah Zara. This is Avodah Zarah Daf 58b. On the previous Amud, the Gemara brought a story where two Amoraim asked someone to pour some wine for them, and they didn't realize that that person was an Oved Kochavim, that he was an idolater. And the question was whether that wine is permitted or whether it's forbidden. And the Gemara said in the previous Amud that it was a machlokus, but the one who says forbidden has a point, and the one who says permitted also has a point. And the Gemara explains the one who says that it was forbidden, it's for the following reason. Meimar Amar, it's because the Oved Kochavim, the idolater, he surely says to himself, Salka daite d'Rabbanan kihani, do you think that such important scholars like this, that such important sages like these, Shichra Kashasu, you think they're drinking beer? Elavadai hai chamru, this is certainly wine that they're drinking. And so therefore there's a chance that he poured it and he had intention for Avodah Zara. It essentially was a libation for Avodah Zara, and therefore we have to be strict. And the Gemara continues, Man Deshari, the one that said that the wine was permitted, Shapir Shari, they said that the wine was permitted correctly as well. For the following reason, Meimar Amar, the Oved Kochavim, surely said to himself, Salkadaita d'Rabbanan kihani chamra kashasu, is it possible to enter your mind that sages like these are drinking wine, v'yamru li ledidi, and yet they said to me, To Ashkinan, come and pour the wine for us. They would never say that knowing that I'm an idolater. Elavadai shichrahu kashasu, rather it must be that they're drinking beer, v'lo naschin, according to that, with that understanding, he did not pour it as a libation to Avodah Zara, and that's a reason to say that it's permitted. And the Gemara continues, Vaka chazi, but what's even going on in this idolater's mind? Can't he see whether this is wine or beer? Why does he have to try to decipher whether it's wine or beer? And the Gemara says, Bilelia, this took place at night, it was dark, he couldn't see. The Gemara still asks, but isn't he able to smell whether it's wine or beer? The Gemara says, not necessarily, Bechadata, it could be new wine, like grape juice, it doesn't really have a smell. The Gemara says, but isn't he taking it with the natzla, that was the pail that he's taking the wine with? And the point is, didn't he actually touch the wine? Isn't that a situation of an idolater touching the wine even without intention? Even if it's without intention, that is forbidden. So what difference does it make whether he poured it as a libation or not? Just touching the wine itself would make it prohibited. And the Gemara says, Lo, no, the case is necessary to kamorik oroke. What actually happened was he never actually touched the wine. He was just pouring it from one vessel to another. It ends up that it's his force without intention. The wine is moving through his force, and he's not having intention. Anytime it's his force without intention, his strength without intention, lo gazru be Rabbanan. And the Rabbanan do not make a decree in such a situation. And the Gemara continues, Boy minei Rabasi me Rabbi Yochanan. Ravasi asks Rabbi Yochanan the following question: Yayin shemisacho oved kochavim mahu. If you have wine that was diluted by an idolater, was diluted by an oved kochavim, what's the halacha? Amar Lei said to him, Rabbi Yochanan said back to Ravasi, Ve'ema mozgo, why are you using the word masacho? You should have the word mozgo. Mozgo means that you dilute the wine. Amar Lei said to him, I'm saying it the same way that it's written in the pasuk. And this is a pasuk in Mishlei. The pasuk says, Tavcha tivcha mascha yena. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. And so you see that the pasuk uses this word when describing the diluting of the wine. And so the Gemara continues, Amar Lei, he said back to him, Lashon Torah liatzmo, Lashon Chachamim liatzmo. The Torah uses its language, and the Chachamim use their own language, and therefore you should use the language of the Chachamim and use the word mazgo. And in any case, the Gemara continues, Mai, so what is the halacha? Again, if the Oved Kochavim dilutes the wine, is it prohibited or is it permitted? Amar Lei said to him, Asr, it is forbidden, Mishum lech amrinon nezira, sechor lecharma lo sikrav, because we tell the Nazir to go around, don't come near the vineyard, and so therefore here also, you have to be extra careful in terms of yayin nesach, and so in this situation, it will be prohibited. And Rashi explains, Asr, it's prohibited, Afal gav de lo naga, even though the Oved Kochavim did not touch the wine in this case. Gazru Rabbanan bekocho lo asro b'shasiyah. The Rabbanan make a decree, since his force is what caused the water to dilute the wine, therefore the Chachamim say that it's prohibited to drink it, mishum harchakas avera, because one should distance oneself from an avera. Aval behana, but Rashi says, in terms of getting benefit from this wine, v'adai lo mitzar, it would not be asr behana, it is not prohibited to get benefit, de lo adif minegia al yedei davar achar. This would not be more severe than touching through something else, meaning indirect touching, shalo b'kavana, without intention of libation to Avodah Zara. Ki ahu denaga beluliva b'chamer. There was the case we had earlier, somebody touched with a lulav branch the wine, v'sharya Rav b'hana, and Rav said it was permitted to get benefit. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yirmiyah ikla l'savta. Rabbi Yirmiyah went to a place called Savta. Chaza chamer de mozgi ovid kochavim. He saw wine which was diluted by an ovid kochavim, by an idolater. Ve'ishti Yisrael minei, and there was a Jew drinking from it. Ve'yasar lu, and he said that's forbidden. He told him that that is prohibited. Mishum leich leich amer nezira sechor lechamer lo sikrav. Because as we said before, we tell the Nazir to go around. Don't come near to a vineyard. You have to distance yourself from an aveira. And the Gemara continues, Itmar Nami was stated as well. Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, V'amri lo, some have the version, Amar Rabbi Asi, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Asi says that Rabbi Yochanan says, Yayin shemozgo ovid kochavim, if wine is diluted by an ovid kochavim, asur, it is prohibited. Misham leich amr nezira sechor lechamer lo sikrav, because again we tell the Nazir to go around, don't come close to the vineyard. And the Gemara continues, Reish Lakish ikla levatzra, Reish Lakish went to Botzra. Chazi Yisrael to ka'achli piri to lo miasri. He saw that there were Jews over there, that they were eating produce, that the meiser wasn't taken off. V'yasar lahu, and he told him that that's forbidden. And Chazamaya, he saw water, the sagdilu of the kochavim, that the idolaters were bowing to, v'shasu Yisrael, and the Jews were drinking from that water. V'yasar lahu, and he said that that was prohibited as well. And Rashi explains, Chazadachli pira de lo ma'asri. V'yasar lo, he said that the produce which the meiser wasn't taken off is forbidden. The kasavar botzra he betzer, because he thought that Botzra, that was the name of the place that he went to, he thought it was the same place as Betzer ba'midbar be'eretz hamishor, that's mentioned in the pasuk. He thought it was the same place as Betzer. V'kevan demei Eretz Yisrael chayav and peiros of a meiser. So he thought it was a place, he thought he was in Eretz Yisrael, and therefore there's an obligation to take off meiser. He didn't realize that Botzra was a different place, and again he also saw them bowing to water, and he said that that was prohibited. Also lakami de Rabbi Yochanan, he came before Rabbi Yochanan. Amar le, he said to him, Adamiktorach halach, while your coat is still on, zil hadr, go back and retract your rulings, because Betzer lav hainu Botzra. Number one, Betzer is not the same as Botzra, therefore Botzra was outside of Eretz Yisrael. There is no obligation in Meiser. Umayim shel ravim ein nesar, and also public water does not become prohibited when the idol worshippers bow to it. And the Gemara says Rabbi Yochanan l'taimi, Rabbi Yochanan over here is following his reasoning, his opinion. Rashi explains that the miktorach halach ba'od shebigodecha alecha, while your clothing are still on you, chazer etzlam, go back to them, v'hater lem, and permit it for them. V'lo tisha afilu lanuach mitorach haderech, and don't delay even to rest from being tired from the road, from your travels. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Nun Tes Amud Aleph.